Man, just on a mission. Here, son, you better listen. Stuck up your ass is an electrician. And I'm like a scientist. And what I'm applying is, I forgot the rest of the fucking song. Beastie Boys, known to let the beat drop.
Can you give me a clap?
Oh, my thunderclap? Hold on. You better keep that first part in, though.
Yeah.
I went hard. Anyways, guys. Oh, it's your show, not mine.
We're in your pad here, but welcome to the Tone Jerks podcast. I got special guest here. I think it's been a while since you've actually been on the podcast. You've been on the YouTube channel, even though we're doing video. But I'm like, I think the podcast you haven't been on in a while. But
it's been a while. Yeah, we've done like Patreon episodes, I think.
I think so. But we got Mr. RJ from TeleTalks here.
Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today?
RJ, how's it going? What's new? What's shaking? What's grooving in your world?
Well, I went on a date with a really cute boy. No, man, we just got done seeing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No Way Home. And it was a blast. We're not going to spoil anything, but I will say I very much enjoyed it. As if you guys are a fan of just Marvel in general, as you guys know, this is contractually the last movie that Tom Holland is he's contractually obligated to do.
Okay, I didn't know
that. He has one more, but it's in his contract, but it's a guest appearance. Like it's meant to be like a cameo.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
Not him in his own movie. So it was good, and I feel like that it was a great send off. I really recommend you guys see it. I don't want again go into spoilers, especially because I don't know when this episode's going, and basically we went opening weekend. So.
This will drop Christmas Eve. So Christmas time.
Oh yeah, so
it'll be Friday
this week. Yeah, not everybody's gonna.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, we're not doing it. Yeah, I mean, you asked me like before we were recording.
I
came
right.
Yeah,
theater.
It was like, oh, if of the three Tom Holland ones, like, yeah, it was my favorite.
Yeah. Side note, I forgot. We're also doing audio. I'm wearing a Spider-Man, like classic '90s Spider-Man
represent.
T-shirt. Yeah, represent.
But, that was definitely fun. So, but besides that, what's new? I know you are kind of revamping the channel for TeleTalks. I think I was on your video last week. The one that we shot here. For the
Yeah. So we did a little keep it simple, stupid. That wasn't so simple. The mini pedal board.
Yeah.
But no, as some of you guys know, I decided to walk away from Just Surprise Me.
Mm-hmm.
Only because, like, man, love all those guys. But the problem is I'm the only one on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
And so when we record, like 9 p.m. is 6 p.m. for me, which is like prime daddy time. That's making dinner, getting the kid ready to, get down for the night, like to go, go to sleep and things like that. So like it was hard, difficult. And that's
the zaddy time.
Yeah.
RJ.
So like it was just hard for like me to commit, unless the kid is at grandma's or something.
Mm-hmm.
Between that and like my partner's really trying. She's trying to get her bakery off the ground.
Yeah. So free time
Sugar
is
magic
at a premium.
And I completely neglected TeleTalks
because
I was tired and I wouldn't do anything else. But no, I'm pretty proud that last 3 weeks I've posted a video every week. I might miss this week, but that's because I'm planning one of my bigger videos. I've also been doing a lot of YouTube reels.
Yeah.
Right? The short 1 minute content that's like the rip off of TikTok or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's been going pretty well for you. I know you kind of did the one for the Matthews effects. That
one did very well.
Was little fuzz thing?
Yeah. Let me reach.
There you go. Yeah.
A Fuzz Keychain. He actually sells these now. You can just buy one, but they're white, which I actually think look cooler than the black one. Let's see if I can get it up here for those. Focus. Come on, girl. Oh, it's too busy trying to focus on my face. Anyways, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. If you know, you know. But it's just a little Fuzz Keychain. You go in and out, and it's got one knob. You run power to it. It actually sounds a lot of fun. It did very well, the video. I was pretty proud of that.
That was one you just bought. You didn't build it?
No, yeah, it's just bought like that. Like it's assembled and everything. Fucking if it was that, I wouldn't be soldering shit. I'm not fucking Kyle. I'm not fucking Kyle, Doug, Joe, everybody else that we know who fucking builds pedals and shit.
Yeah. Now that
not that handy.
Now that Kyle's gone, I feel like I've soldered
all your projects that you wanted him to do.
I feel like I got to do that myself. So I soldered one pedal one time. It worked, and then I retired. But I think
while you're ahead,
and I always like because I bought the soldering station and then gave it to Kyle.
Me too.
And then we just
I didn't give it to Kyle. It's in that drawer.
We just swapped. Like he gave me a pedal and I just gave him that. And I'm like, I don't really have an interest in soldering anything anymore.
Yeah.
And he did. So I'm like, just take it. And I think we talked about it on the show. Kyle and we both were like, sucker. Because to me, I got the Cyril Riot, which I'm like, I love that pedal.
Oh, really?
And then he got
that
that Hako soldering station. What is the F88 or something like that?
Mine's not that fancy.
But yeah, so I'm like kind of now thinking, I'm like, I think I want to get that again. Because I'm like, I should be able to do my own pickup swaps. I should.
I can do that much, but like when it comes to like actually soldering on like a board, no fucking way.
Yeah, and so I was thinking about buying.
Way, but just throwing a fucking wire cable somewhere on a pot and throwing some solder on it, I can handle that.
Yeah, I haven't done it in years. And most of the time, anytime I had a project, Kyle would just do it. And now I'm like, fuck, he's all the way in Texas. So I'm like, I can do it. I think that might be a goal for this coming year is I want to get a soldering station again, which I always like I bought the damn thing and I already forgot how much it was. I'm like $100. I'm like,
yeah,
just get it.
I mean, you could technically get cheaper ones too if like you're not really like you just need to have one in clutch. Mm-hmm. Like I think the one I bought was like $40.
Yeah,
it was actually literally one from one that Sean from Gear Street.
Yeah,
Gun Street. Sorry, fuck that up. Fuck that up. Gun Street recommended. He's like, hey, buy this one. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
like he knows.
Yeah, and like I said, I soldered that pedal, so I'm like, okay, I know how to do it. But I just was like, anytime there was work, I'm like, no, I'll just give it to Kyle. Fuck it. And now I'm like, okay, I'm totally because I do want to swap pickups and guitars, and I want to like try different styles of pickups. I'm like, if I took it to a shop every time to do, I'm like, that would be at least $60 plus which I'm like,
no joke.
And it's just a handy skill to have because I think I'm like, what about just repairing cables and making my own cables? I'm like, well, I could just do that. So that's
no, for real. Like it's definitely
listening
handy.
And watching is like, idiot, just do it.
Just yeah. Like, I mean, like
you have a guitar podcast and you don't even do your own pickups.
It's funny you mention that because for me, like I'm not super handy when it comes to like setting up guitars. Like I feel like that's another skill that you should have some fundamentals. And don't get me wrong, I do like a small amount, just enough to keep going. But I think I could probably take them in for a setup.
Yeah, and there is a difference
no joke.
too. Like I feel like I am pretty decent at setting up guitars. And I was like, oh, cool, I can straighten the neck and stuff like that and get enough relief in there and then intonate and stuff like that. And then until I took my basses somewhere to actually get set up, because I'm like, okay, I had problems, but I'm like, okay, you're already here. Just can you do a full setup on the... They did a great job. And I'm like, wow.
That's how it's supposed to play
better than anything I do. I'm like, I want to get that good. So it's kind of a goal this year. I was like, I want to do my own pickups. I want to get better at setting up.
So you're already setting up your New Year's resolutions.
I think so. I think that's going to be something.
I got a few too. One of them, I was talking to Andrea last night about it because we've been doing a lot of like markets and stuff.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of a little bit like some of them are kind of like pretty hoity-toity. And I'm like, damn, I'm hearing a fucking t-shirt and jeans, and these motherfuckers are coming like full out, and I'm like, shit, man, I gotta start dressing nicer.
You gotta get a tuxedo t-shirt.
Like I gotta start dressing nicer. So that's gonna be my goal. Is like just like
Well, you got those
start dressing nice.
Amazon boots.
That's right, my Amazon boots. I love those boots. They're totally uncomfortable. No, it was more like it was an experiment because, like, honestly, I haven't worn boots since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I would wear when I was a kid, I'd wear like actual cowboy boots.
Okay, I was about to ask because you were in Texas. You lived in Texas for a little bit.
No, I was wearing that in Norco, California.
Okay, yeah.
As a kid, I didn't wear boots in Texas ever.
You wear shit kickers in Texas?
No, I did not.
Dude, you should get some cowboy boots, dude. You should wear those.
So
hey, ma'am, and get a hat. You're in San Diego doing that.
No, it's funny. Actually, you laugh, but I legit do that at work. Like I'll just tip my hat as I'm walking down the hall. Mm. Anyway, but no, I do want to start dressing nice. That's one of my resolutions. I feel like if I can just, invest a little bit more in my clothing, because I mean, everybody, it's like that fucking, it's that, have you seen that Spider-Man meme where it's like Toby Spider-Man, his face is all ripped up and it says, my underwear looking at me.
Yeah. When I'm buying a new pedal.
When I'm buying a new pedal or guitar or camera gear, whatever, replace it with whatever your vice is, right?
Yeah.
It's not that bad, but I definitely want to start dressing.
Yeah, nicer. more button ups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think
I'm strictly a t-shirt guy.
I have one button up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a strict, but also my line, I deal with ink, so I can't dress nice at work.
Yeah.
I get worrisome when I'm wearing my nice Levi's at work. I'm like,
yeah,
fucking putting on my lab coat and shit so I don't get fucking ink on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at work, I'm a manager, and they're sometimes they're like, oh, did you not wear a shirt with holes in the armpits or whatever? So wearing a shirt that doesn't have a t-shirt that doesn't have holes in it, that's a step up. But when I'm wearing my boots, they're like, okay, you're stepping it up.
There you go. I like your boots.
Thanks.
Are those the ones that you got on trade or whatever?
Yeah, I got it on offer up.
Nice.
This 8th podcast I've talked about them.
Sorry,
getting no. I'm getting my mileage.
I remember you send me fucking the message. He's like, yeah, I'm stoked. I just went on offer. I got these boots.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're like, oh, used shoes, nice.
Yeah, but those are expensive shoes. That's the difference. It's not like, oh yeah, I went and got on offer up, paid $10 for these $12 Payless shoes.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm just saving tons of money, man. But yeah, so I guess besides leaving just surprised me. You definitely put more focus into TeleTalks.
Yep.
I think even focusing more on just we talked off air, but it's focusing more on creating music, right? This year.
Yeah.
Too.
So that's the other thing. TeleTalks is also going through a radical change. I was actually so much of a radical change. I was debating on changing the name. Mm-hmm. So I talked to Ryan from 60 Cycle. He's like, who fucking cares what your name is? Mm-hmm. He's like, you could do whatever you want. Here's the thing you got to be okay with. If it does end up getting big, are you okay with being the TeleTalks guy? I was like, I don't know. Are you okay with being the 60 Cycle guy? And he was like, that's who I am.
Yeah.
Does it drip? I'm okay. You know what? You're right. I'll stick with the branding because also I'm shit at names. Andrea came up with TeleTalks,
so
and I'm fucking keeping it.
It's a name.
It's a name. But no, legit. I'm gonna start focusing on more content that is how to cut out all the bullshit and actually just make music.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing I'm focusing on. So much so that I've sold all my fucking gear.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Other than the fucking essentials. I have one electric, one bass, one acoustic.
Okay. Yeah. I think you've told me a bunch of times, but I always just keep forgetting. It's so yeah, you had earlier in the year, you had 3 other electrics. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had, at the time, I had Shelly Telly, the Cabernita.
Yeah.
Then I had a 60s custom, quote unquote custom. It's a 60 Squire. So I had the double bound.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also had another Squire thin line with the white, quote unquote, wide range humbuckers. Really, it's just a humbucker with a.
Okay, yeah. That one was kind of.
So those were the 3 tellies I had.
Short lived, right? That one?
No, yeah, the shortest out of the 3, but it was also probably one of my favorites. So much so that if I do buy another electric, I've come to the realization that I really like the 72 stuff. So whether it is the thin line with the humbuckers, or if it's just the one with the fat headstock, you know?
That's the deluxe.
Yeah, it's the deluxe, the 72 deluxe. Yeah. Either one of those, that's going to be my next telly.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. And I'll probably go Fender this time.
Started coming out with a bunch of different versions of that guitar. Because remember,
Yeah.
it was just like the one that was the black, the Mexican one that was black, and then the walnut, I think, were the two
Yeah.
finishes. And
Yeah,
then they
yeah,
came out
yeah,
with
yeah.
some like FSR ones, which are like white, with the maple. And I'm like, okay, that's probably one of my favorites. But you almost never see them. And then they have like Buddy Tolly. He has, when they came with the FSR, like the Fender Special Run or whatever,
Yeah.
of like the glitter ones, like the
Yep.
big flake ones.
Yup.
I think he got all of them.
Nice.
He got the green, he got the gold, blue, or maybe he's just missing red.
So the one I want is a Chicago Music Exchange exclusive.
Uh-huh.
The reason being it's in Lake Placid blue.
Okay.
I actually had one like that, but it was a custom paint job.
Gotcha.
So it was originally black.
Okay, well,
The only reason I know that is because there was a big fucking chip on the back and you could see the black.
was it a good paint job?
Oh, beautiful.
Wasn't just like
No, it wasn't
slap
like,
on.
no, it wasn't some like home job. Like,
yeah.
like this guy literally paid to go get a fucking,
That's cool.
and he put a, tortoise shell pick guard.
Mhm.
It's literally that fucking guitar that Chicago
now you can
Music
just
Exchange
buy it.
now sells. And so like, I think that's the one I want to get.
Does that one have a maple neck as well?
Yes. That's the other conclusion I've come to. Like maple or nothing, like
Those-
as far as fretboard is concerned. I think that's my biggest problem that I have with this bass. Other than the active pickups, or not the active pickups, but the active EQ. Like I just like everything maple. It just feels so much better on my fingertips.
I guess I don't really notice it. To me, it's more of like a look thing. I like the look of maple usually. And that's to say, I'm like, both of my basses have rosewood. So I'm like,
So I thought that too, but then like I started playing them. And I started realizing I'm like, shit, I never played that guitar.
yeah.
Why is it? And even though it had theoretically had the same neck profile
Yeah.
as my other two tellies, because they're all that modern C shape,
Mhm.
that one and the thin line Squire that I have felt exactly the same. And it's just like the way the radius is like constructed, because they're both straight up maple neck and fretboard.
Yeah.
Versus the 60s was a rosewood or Laurel or whatever the fuck it's called, the rosewood replacement.
Oh,
And it just,
the
it felt,
Palfaro?
no, I think it's the Laurel.
Yeah, I don't
know.
remember. Yeah. It was
Anyways,
like,
point being is like, I've realized that fuck, man,
well, it's do you notice, I guess I don't really, is it like the grain of the rosewood that you,
Yeah,
it's deep, more.
yeah.
Do you like ebony neck or fretboards? Because I have like, I think one of mine,
I haven't really played any.
or like roasted maple versus regular maple.
I love me roasted maple. Like all the Reverends, like
Yeah.
those fucking are good. I've tried Jennings roasted,
yeah.
also good. Like I just like maple.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess. Are you particular about like? Because you were mentioning radius. Are you particular about the neck size of your guitars and stuff like that? Is it just like this standard Fender C shape?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really that particular.
You just don't want like a
because I've
super
had-
shredder neck or whatever the.
Yeah. That was the other thing. I felt like the 60s, the fretboard was flatter.
Mhm.
Like it didn't curve as much.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel as hefty as like that in my hand.
I think
It's not baseball, but like it didn't feel.
Yeah, some of the super flat radius. That's one thing like on the fretboard that I'll notice a lot more with bass. Maybe because it's just a bigger, neck.
Yeah.
It's like he let me borrow it, Johnny Ray, his Rickenbacker for a gig, and it's just so weird to play that because I'm like the neck. It's almost. I mean, I know there's curve to it, but it felt like it was so flat, and I'm like, what the hell am I playing? And and also playing somebody else's expensive bass at a show. I was just like very
Makes you
like,
feel
don't
nervous,
drop
right?
it, don't do
fuck it up.
anything. And it's like he was like, yeah, whatever. It's not that big a deal. But I'm like, yeah, but it's me playing your bass.
It's funny. Fucking Steve was watching my episode of TeleTalks with you on it.
Uh-huh.
He had the quits. He goes, only fucking Gower would fucking have a $3,000 guitar with fucking duct tape on it for his fucking straps.
Yeah. and that's the thing.
He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think I got one of the first dings on it probably a week or so
Did you
into.
figure out the mystery color underneath?
Not yet. So
I'm just kidding.
On the headstock, like where it says Equids, I think I had it leaning against something and it fell on my desk. And I'm like, I should have put that thing in a guitar stand, but well, it like landed on like the corner of like one of the orange amps, like, where it's like the only part where there's metal. It could have like hit the Tolex and not made a dent, but it just went bing. And now I got the big mark right at the headstock.
That's awesome.
Where it says Equids.
So you just gotta, have your stand right next to you, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Just have one next to you.
It's like close enough. Like you see my room, it's not big, so a guitar stand is like. But I was just like, fuck it. I've not. So yeah, that Equid. What RJ was saying, it's like my Equids has the kind of purple lavender, Easter purple kind of thing. Color.
Match your other two.
Yeah, purple.
Also pastels.
Yeah,
the pastel trio, if you will.
And
fucking getting ready for Easter every day of the year.
Kevin put a color underneath it. And so that way, the more I play or whatever, like, or hit the guitar and not hit the strings, like the more of it will scrape away. But I haven't gotten it to scrape away yet. I've gotten it, the wood is starting to dent. So that is pretty resilient paint. It's more so like
I'm curious. Yeah.
So it'll happen
he didn't
eventually.
Tell me.
Yeah.
I tried to get him to tell me we were talking about it, and he wouldn't tell me what color it is. So I'm legitimately curious.
Co is very coy. I think he knows.
Really?
He's always like, "Cool, you get that yet? You got it yet?" I'm like, "No." So
I'll fucking laugh. What if it's like fucking Sunburst or something? I'd fucking laugh my ass off.
That would be sick. If he took that much time
to do a Sunburst and then throw fucking purple pastel on top,
that would be like that would be pretty good. I don't
know. Like, now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever seen him. Does he have a Sunburst? Like, has he done Sunburst?
No, I think a lot of his guitars are. I've seen black.
Getting all sweaty on camera.
Yeah, and then red, and then some of them he'll do like where you can see the wood grain through. I think it was Jay Leonard J's has one where you can see like the wood grain through.
I forgot about that. I forgot he did one for him.
Yeah, there's a lot more Equids out there than I think when I kind of put my order in. I think there was just a handful, or at least that I was aware of, and now more of them are going out to friends.
People who actually matter. Like Jay Leonard J, not some dude in a shit punk band.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think, so far
you're
first one in a punk
you're
band.
In a class of your own as an Equids owner. So, there's that. And his stuff is cool because, like, I love Co's.
Yeah.
Co's is, was it Fuzzburn? Is it called the Fuzz?
I think it's called the Fuzz Rayburn.
The Fuzz Rayburn? Whatever.
So it's the Rayburn body shape and whatever. And then it's kind of like, with like tellies or strats, you put your own kind of little spin on it. And then that one has 2 pickups, but it also has like a fuzz circuit built into the.
Yeah, it's based off the half horse, or let me rephrase, that fuzz circuit is what helped inspire the half horse, if I remember correctly.
I thought it was a half horse just put in there.
I don't know. I know basically which the half horse is just part of the Peloton. Not Peloton, Peloton.
Peloton.
Fucking all this shit up.
Yeah.
God damn. See, so I'm like so out of like I said, I don't play like guitar pedals anymore. I have HX Stomp. I'm so like out of shape when it comes to like being in the know or remembering all that shit.
Well, yeah, you were saying you sold a bunch of gear, so you probably sold a bunch of pedals, right?
Yeah, no, I have the Walrus audio, which is under there, the Mayflower, the limited edition one that I'll never sell because I will never, because it's just one of the coolest custom jobs that they've ever done and ever will do.
Yeah, I think maybe, or if you're a fan of Walrus, everybody has their favorite special one. I know mine's the Julia. I'm like, I could sell it, and I'm sure you could sell yours like for more money than you paid. I'm like, but I like that thing so much.
Yeah, that's one of 30.
Yeah. And then there's like a bunch of the different, anyway, they put out a bunch of different ones, and some of them haven't wowed me. It's like every Halloween, he's like, "Oh, here's another Iron Horse." I'm like, "Okay, cares?"
Yeah, I feel like the last few ones that they've been doing, I'm like,
The one that would have been cool if they didn't get a cease and desist right away was the Star Wars ones that they were coming out with.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think I remember that, and I'm like, well, and then it was like gone. I was like, yep, nope, never mind. There's no way they can put that out.
I like that this year they did it again. I like the series that they do for Andertons.
Okay, yeah.
Have you seen those? There's like fucking 5 of them, and it paints a whole like
a story
artwork together. Like if you put them together, it's like a space war.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really fucking cool. My only complaints is like I really don't like the Fathom, and that's the reverb that they decided to do.
Yeah,
like for that one instead of doing like the slow, because the Fathom's more subtle, so like it can do ambient stuff, but it also could just do regular fucking shit.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't think they do a bad pedal. Like,
no, they're just not my bag. Like I've just really fallen out of love with Walrus, and it's not because of them, it's me.
Yeah, or it's just like
me.
in pedals in general. That you're like, oh, I'm not really jonesing for a new one.
No, like I'll get on it. I'll get a hankering here and there, but then I'll just plug up the HX Stomp and get something close to it.
Yeah,
and call it a day, because then I can just record right then and there and call it a day.
Yeah, I was just the other day at work. I was like listening to like an old record that I used to like, an old friend's band. And I'm like, oh, it's really inspiring. Like, something that's like a local band that's like, it sounds fucking great.
Yeah.
And it just kind of made me like, oh, I want to play music, but I'm at work.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I want to play music. I want to write something or whatever. So I got home yesterday and I was super tired, but I'm like, you know what? I have no excuse not to just pick up my guitar. And so it made it super easy just having the Stomp there. I'm like,
absolutely.
Yeah, just plug in the headphones and shit. And then
also, on that subject of, I'm like you, I get tired, but I do have some free time at work sometimes when I'm on break. That's why I bought this thing.
Yeah.
It's not guitar related. It's called Circuit Tracks. It's made by Novation.
Mm-hmm.
It's what they call a groove box. It has 2 synth tracks, 4 drum tracks, and then 2 like whatever you want to put in the inputs tracks.
Yeah.
So like I've legitimately ran my HX Stop into this. This also works like a mixer. Yeah. So I can mix what I want as far as like panning and volume goes. Like you can't EQ on it other than like EQing the synth when you're in the synth, or EQing on the HX Stomp.
I've seen you play with that. And I'm like, and you explain it, and I'm like, it's a whole new. I'm just so confused because I'm like, there's no menus. And it's like, it's
all memory.
Yeah, you have to know
reading what it says on there.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
No,
and it sounds cool. It's like, oh, look at this song, and you pull it up, and I'm like, there's just RGB on there. I'm like, that's cool. I like the colors.
Yeah, it looks pretty. That's the other thing. It's like that's what makes it kind of cool, and that's why there's like a following on like YouTube for like Dallas jamming, because like even when they're doing stuff, because of the fucking RGB, like the light show, it's still like they'll just have the camera pointed at it, and it still is entertaining to watch.
Yeah, you were talking about that. It's DAW-less jamming. So it's like a digital audio workstation if people aren't familiar. So they think of Pro Tools or whatever.
Yeah. So you can have all your fun stuff. No, it's like literally going to a Zoom recorder like you record the podcast.
And it's all
but you're
building everything live pretty much.
Exactly. It's like guitar looping.
Kind of,
but with synths and other stuff.
And multiple instruments.
And you have, you have like a plan, right? You have a plan, you have a set, if you will, going into it, and you just perform it. But what I was going to say, the reason why I brought it up is, again, cutting out all the bullshit, removing all the barriers. I was like, I'm going to bring this to work. This fits in my fucking backpack. It's battery powered. I just bring this in a cheap pair of in-ear monitors, and I'll sit in the break room and I'll make a track. Yeah. And it's not like the glorious thing, but it might turn into something. Yeah. Or it might not, but I made music.
At least you did something.
I made music, and that's what matters.
I used to leave, I have like a Squier acoustic or whatever. I used to just leave it at work, and I took it home like a couple of years ago. And I'm like, I should bring it back. Cause I'm like, if it gets broken or stolen, I mean, I guess it's sentimental because it's like a first acoustic, but it's not like, oh man, it's not like my Strat. Yeah. It's not like my Taylor. So I figured I'm like, that's when I got home yesterday. It's just playing and stuff like that is fun. I'm like, okay, well, duh, and I should do that more often. And then I have like a patch in my HX Stomp that's not. It's one from Fluff from Riffs, Beards, and Gear. He did like how I make a heavy guitar patch with his Helix rack, but I was able to just take that and just plug it into the Stomp, and it sounds great. He made it
absolutely
for a heavy. It's not really a guitar sound that I would go for, but if you're just jamming out ideas, playing a really heavy just feels great.
No,
so
absolutely.
It's like the rev generator or whatever, and there's like definitely gets more into it with like noise gates and cutting out the lows and whatever. I'm like more than I go into it, but it's also kind of like it's just a fun patch to play.
Yeah.
So I kind of just was for like a couple hours just jamming out ideas. I'm like, oh, okay. I have like maybe 3 or 4 songs that I'm eventually like I want to write for a band for like an EP or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I don't want it to sound so derivative. Like I don't want it to be like it's going to be in the same style and pretty much similar to Plane because it's going to be Brian Rash on drums.
At the fucking end of the day, it's you playing guitar, so of course it's going to be a little bit like Plane. And I think actually that's funny you mentioned that because I'm starting to realize again because I'm trying to make more music and actually do something with it. That I'm like I'm always going to have that thing, whether that's good or bad.
Like it's going to sound like
it's going to sound like me. Even if I think it's a different genre, it's still going to sound like me. And that's kind of cool because, again, I'm trying to just remove barriers.
Yeah.
Like, there's been plenty of times where I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to come up with this EP and blah, blah, blah. And then, like, I'll switch styles and I'll be like, well, this doesn't sound like that, but it's still me, but, like, it doesn't belong on this EP.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I'm just trying to remove all the barriers. And I think that's been my main focus with purchasing gear, whether it be for video or for making music, like whatever I can do to remove the barriers to just fucking do it.
Yeah. And even
I'm
just
not worrying about a fucking pedal board. Like I'm going straight in.
Like, this setup, I mean, it's, well, eventually I should have thought about it and done it today. A studio tour video, kind of your setup. It's even smaller and more compact than mine, but it's also you're able to pretty much just take it and go.
Yeah, so that's the point of this setup. It's supposed to be modular.
Yeah, the setup, yeah.
Like so it's modular and it's mobile. And so that's my thought. Like every gear purchase that I've made this year has been with those things on my head. Does it do what I need? Does it remove any barriers? I'm not just chasing the fucking dragon. Like, is it gonna actually help me make music?
There's a purpose for it.
Yeah, and I think it's me just trying to be real with myself and like not get caught up with like it's fun to talk gear. It's fun to like go through, but like then you just stop making music.
Yeah,
and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna buy that, then I'll make music. Oh, I'm gonna buy that, then I'll make music. Oh, I'm gonna buy that, and I just can't do it anymore. Like I've made more music this year after selling all my shit than fucking buying all this shit. Like I've bought a few things here and there.
And then
also because I'm a broke ass bitch, but that's a whole nother story.
That's a different story. But it's also like the barriers, I think, just kind of you put up in yourself in your own in the music creation. You're like, oh, I can't do that because of this or whatever. Or you're trying to think well above of like, okay, this needs to be bigger than it actually is. When sometimes that's at least for me. I'm not articulating it great, but I'm thinking I'm like, oh, I need different chords and different progressions and stuff like that than I've ever done before.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I need to play a chord that I've never played before, or like a version of a chord.
Progression or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's too derivative.
Also, but I'm going to like I'm going to like try and like I'm gonna have like 8 chord progression to do one thing. I'm like, actually, you know what's cool? Just going between 2 chords. That actually makes a big difference. Because playing in Just In Case, Adam's writing style, sometimes it can be very, like he uses sometimes really weird chords. Like he's, been playing music since he was like 6 and like actually knows how to read sheet music and shit like that.
Can I insert a racist joke here?
I guess.
No, I'm not going to. But no, like
does
he play piano or violin?
I believe he plays. I think he plays piano. I think he used to, and then he got out of it. I'm just
giving you shit. No, I was just inserting blanket racist, typical Asian jokes.
Asian ones.
But no, like legit, like I really enjoy Just In Case. It's a little bit more up my alley as far as like style is concerned. They're a little bit more leaning to the hardcore side, like classic hardcore. I'm talking about like Black Flag, Circle Jerks kind of hardcore. Like,
yeah,
you know,
I think definitely going with the progression of the band, at least the newest EP is like just want to go hard everywhere. It's like hard left, so it's like even like Adam singing a softer voice on certain parts, and then he goes to like really heavy, like and I'm like,
yeah,
bad impression, but Brian's going really screamy and stuff like that. But even just like, so he'll go and use really crazy jazz chords, as I want to call them, and then he will go and just like he'll just like a bridge can be just one chord. I'm like, so he's jumping all over the place, or he can just like a build up can be 2 chords.
Yeah.
You're just jumping between maybe the root and then the fourth. I mean, that's all a chorus is. It's just those 2. And then
it's funny. Do you ever, I don't know about you when I'm songwriting, do you ever get hung up on how long a song has to be time wise?
Not really.
I find myself that I'm like, dude, this is only a 2-minute and 30-second song. Like, that doesn't fucking work. Add more to it.
Double chorus.
And then you
got a double chorus.
Yeah, but
that's
my thing is like, that's when I start overthinking it.
And then not every song, you don't have to have a bridge.
Like,
you don't have to have all this stuff.
Like, not every song needs to be 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Like, some songs can't be 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and that's okay.
Yeah. And then, working or, with Adam or whatever, and even in the songwriting process, he doesn't do things that I do all the time, which makes me, when I just picked up my guitar the other day, I'm like, just stop doing those things. You don't have to follow. I love resolving on the 5th. I do it almost all the time, and I have to stop myself to do it if I'm like doing, because it sounds good. Because musically, it ends there, and then you restart again. I'm like, or a chorus doesn't even have to be on the root or the relative minor, and I'm like, I'm like, I don't have to do it. So I was just fucking around yesterday, and it was just fun just to plug up to the HX Stomp to a heavy metal patch and just start chugging around when I got like frustrated, go. And I'm like, this is fun. And then I can go back to like rolling down the volume and get some like quack ears.
Break up.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool with that the Gun Street harness I have for the
Speaking
volume.
Speaking of stereotypes.
It's cool to have that, and it actually has the highs still, and I'm like, oh, this actually sounds cool. It's less shit. Not even going to a crazy patch, because that patch only has one sound.
So like, it's funny because I'm a big fan of the Mystery Brain. It's one of my favorite delays. It and the Wells are probably my 2 favorite delays. 2 very different budgets, 2 very different styles of going about things. But the other day I was like, well, do I really need the Mystery Brain? Because like I literally made a patch using just the Space Echo and the Stomp. Again, it's just like and I'm not even talking like, so like for those who are just listening, like my entire recording setup is via an iPad Air, 4th gen USB-C in an interface. I'm using Cubases as my DAW. Like, it is as cut back as you can get. So that's why I actually have the HX Stomp on my desk, kind of like you do, because I have to do all my editing that way. I don't have HX Edit because the iPad, like I only plug it up to my computer to update the firmware.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't go in there to make patches. I just make it all through the front panel of the Stomp. Which, shout out the pedal stand.
Yep.
From Soundrise.
Soundrise Pro.
Yep. One of my favorite purchases of the year.
I think our promo code still works. We don't get anything from it. It's like 15% off. I think it's Tone Jerks. 15 or Tone Jerks.
I think you're right.
One of those.
But yeah, no, like I love it. It's fucking perfect. That's one of my favorite purchases because I wanted it to slightly be elevated to see the screen a little bit better. And again, it just allowed me to fucking get to the point. And then it
doesn't slide around as much.
And it doesn't slide as around.
Because you have Velcro on it, right? Or
at the bottom? No.
Oh, on your Stomp? You don't have it?
Oh, I do have Velcro on the Stomp, but I don't have it on the Pro.
So if you put that on your desk, it could have
a tendency. Yeah. It could slide around.
I know. Yeah.
I fucking love just cutting all the bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. So we kind of were just going all over the place, but I don't know, it was kind of like a what to do. We saw Spider-Man. You got your desk. That's what's new. But we have, I don't know, a couple. We kind of like hinted at some of them. Yeah. Topics here. You had mentioned, it's kind of coming towards the end of the year. Mm-hmm. You've sold some things, but you did buy some things. Do you have some favorite purchases this year, like gear wise? Maybe not even music related.
Yeah.
Or like instruments, or not even pedal related. It's
again, all my purchases have been, what can I do? I'm gonna have to run over there and get that here in a second. But what's gonna allow me to make music as easy as possible, anywhere as possible? Because as living in an apartment with a child and a partner, like even sometimes this, which is always now set up, I don't have access to because I can't be loud.
Yeah. Or
like I have to go be able to record a podcast, but I can't record out here because my kid's watching TV. So I have to bring my setup into a different room.
Yeah. It's like you want to be mobile. So that's kind of the idea for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like, that's what I've done. So some of my favorite purchases that aren't gear related or like actual gear. I mean, I don't know. You consider the Soundrise gear?
I guess it's music related, but yeah. It's not,
Soundrise Pro pedal stand is fucking great. It's great for HX Stomp. It's great for like how you use it with your universal audio interface. Like it is fucking perfect for that. Another thing right here. Nice low profile mechanical keyboard by Keychron. This is the K7. Fucking love this thing. It's Bluetooth, so it connects to my iPad.
It clicks.
So it's actually super clicky because they're blue switches. Blue switches are clicky. Reds more have a thunk to them. But this is like the only one they have. I hope I don't lock myself out of my iPad because it's connected right now. Anyway, so I bought that, because and I bought the iPad stand for it. Just to like make it more look like a monitor essentially. But I also have the Folio keyboard, so I can take it on go and have a full keyboard. The Novation Circuit is another one.
Yeah.
Make music anywhere.
You got that this year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it actually just released this year. It's a second generation. It's a version 2.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, no, I got it this year. Let's see. Other gear purchases. The Rode NT USB Mini USB-C microphone. I sold my podcasting gear. I mean, I still have my H6.
Yeah.
But I sold like my Pod Go mics and stuff because like I was having to set that up in other rooms when I would be on Just Surprise Me or any other podcast.
And then with that, using the Rode pod mics, podcaster mics?
The pod mic. It's just called the pod mic.
Okay.
You have to have an interface. You have to have a mic cable. Then you have your headphones. Then you have the cable that goes to the fucking, the computer.
Well, and then you also, that one you used sometimes with the Cloud Lifter too. So now that's another thing with the cable.
I used the Cloud Lifter when I was podcasting for Renegades of Pop, but believe it or not, this Audience Evo 4, don't get me wrong, you have to crank it, but it still sounds really clean. So I didn't have to do that when I was using a computer to record the podcast, but definitely can't use it with the H6.
Yeah.
The H6, you have to have a Cloud Lifter for.
And then, so like, not that it's just a lot more. Yeah. Cause like you said, you got the cable, you got the interface, you have all this other shit. And then the computer, and then
I have to tear that down and then go in the fucking bedroom where I have to record because my kid's out here.
And then this one,
I have a USB-C cable and a fucking pair of headphones and my computer.
Yeah.
That's it. And done. We're recording.
Yeah, you did like a little quick video on that, but you like the sound of it. You could.
Yeah, it's totally passable. It sounds no different than my pod mic setup.
Especially if you're not just. I mean. For a podcast.
Yeah,
but it's like you don't want to have shitty sound quality.
No, but like it's acceptable. Like I said, I don't think there's much of a difference than when I had my pod mic going in there.
And using that too, it's like a USB-C. You could just go right into your iPad, right?
Yes. So. Yes. It's one cable, then headphones, and I'm
for like
good to
voiceover
go.
work and stuff like
Voiceover work, like
For
it's
videos.
perfect.
that.
Like, you know, and again, it's just a matter of cutting out the bullshit.
Yeah. And I would. Yeah.
Also, and I just needed some mobile things because I got to be on the go because I'm constantly doing stuff in other places other than being at home.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, oh yeah, my setup is pretty compact, but no, not even close because it's all has to be there. Like I couldn't pick up the laptop. Yes, I could literally pick that up and go, but like I'd have to break the whole desk down to take my setup.
Well, so
anywhere.
that's the other thing. I literally can just run off batteries.
Yeah.
My entire setup, even the HX Stomp, because I have the mission engineering that can go into a battery bank.
Yeah.
I have a completely mobile setup. I don't need to be plugged up to a fucking wall.
My mobile interface is a 6-space rack with the Claret.
Yeah, I've seen it because you've brought it over. We've used it.
The
I
Claret
know.
8 pre with the extra octa pre, I think, in there. So but I mean, I'm able to record drums with that. So to me, that's kind of, I'm not going to take
if
that.
If you can justify it, then justify it. I just can't justify it anymore. I can't keep chasing shit that I can't just because that's what everybody, keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
That's what everybody else fucking does. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to go get legitimately the most absolute favorite thing that I've purchased this year.
All right, well, we'll do a cut.
Most I've ever spent on a backpack.
Okay. We're back.
Bam.
This is for the listeners. RJ showing off.
Backpack. I'll post pictures. I'll try to post pictures of this when
yeah. You can send
in the group. So get on the group if you're not on the group, y'all.
Yeah.
This is the Air. Air is the company. It's AER. They're out of San Francisco.
Okay.
This is their. What is it called? Air Pack 3.
Okay.
Fucking great. This is heavy duty. Like, just feel it. Like, feel the fucking, like, this is like seatbelt material for the hook.
Yeah.
These are fucking.
I think you put your drinks on the side here.
Yeah, no, they're huge. And you can fit, like, I don't want to put that because that's cardboard, but you can fit, like, the big motherfucker, like 48 ounce guys, you know, on it. But this thing can fit my entire studio in it.
Mm-hmm. With your camera and stuff like that too.
With my camera and stuff like that too. And what allows that is this. Here, this thick, chunky.
Yeah.
It's a duffel. It's legitimately meant for people who work out. Like, this is a workout.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a hybrid duffel backpack system. And so it has this huge cavernous that I can just shove shit in, right? In the front. Because I have my own organizers. Because like you, I have the Manfrotto camera case that fits right up top here.
Yeah.
And I can fit other stuff. Then even at the bottom, that's a shoe compartment.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
It's a fucking shoe compartment. So the reasons why I wanted this, have a mobile studio, but also for like weekend trips. Like, I can fit an outfit in here.
Yeah.
And some underwear and shit like that. You know, right? Some socks. And then in the main compartment, it has a nice padded, as you can see, or Brian can see, a nice padded
back. So
it's got spaces for your like your mouse and stuff. It's got organizers for quick access.
Yeah. So if you had a laptop, you're not gonna fuck it up.
Exactly. And I have my, I put my iPad in it, and I put my keys on this little clip right here.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty slick. I think of like. And of course, watching like Peter McKinnon videos, and I'm like, man, I need a backpack.
Yeah,
I don't.
So he's the one that kind of inspired it with the
what's in
nomadic.
My bag or whatever. Yeah.
And I was gonna get a nomadic, but they're like $300.
Yeah,
and it's a little bit out of my price range. And then also, I actually read some like not too glamorous reviews about nomadic stuff, not specifically the Peter McKinnon stuff, but I was looking at the travel bag.
Okay, yeah.
It goes from like a 20 to 30 liter expandable. Like that was the one I was thinking about getting. It's literally like $300.
Yeah.
This guy's 170.
That's not bad.
So it's still not cheap.
Yeah.
By any means. It ain't, well, I would say it ain't no JanSport, but JanSports are like $75 these days. Like, I remember when I was a kid, that was the cheapest fucking thing you could get.
Yeah.
Like a $20 JanSport at fucking Kmart.
Get it at Mervin's or whatever.
Yeah. But no. And I feel like this thing is gonna fucking last me forever. It's fucking Cordura fabric. Like it's It's
remember,
amazing.
Yeah. I remember like in high school, my mom got me a JanSport, but it wasn't like the regular, like where it's just like one color and it has like the little leather thing at the bottom. It was one that was like, had so many zippers and hooks and shit. And like, it looked like people were like, what is that? Is that like a camping backpack? And I'm like, my mom got it for me and it was great. And I think I ended up getting rid of it because it just got so gross. Like I had it until my 20s and I'm like, this thing's got to go. It smells like shit.
Yeah.
And then, so I think I have like a backpack. It's kind of like a little basic guy, but seeing, like I said, some of the Peter McKinnon ones, I did watch a video, Ola England. He did like a tour video of him like traveling or whatever, and then playing a show. And he was kind of showing people off like his new backpack, like, whoa, man, that's cool. And he's like, it's a Peter McKinnon one. It's like, I don't know who that is, but that's sick. And it's like, I can put my Switch in here. And they were all blown. It was like he didn't mean to, but it was like he was doing a commercial for it.
Nice.
He was like, I didn't get this for like I paid money for it. I don't know Peter McKinnon, and I'm using it as like a traveling musician. He's like, yeah, he has got his camera and some of the stuff, but he's not bringing a shit out of it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, it works.
No, I legitimately, I'm on this thing about organizing, kitting out gears, EDC, et cetera, et cetera. Actually, I literally am getting a Peak Design filled pouch too.
Yeah.
For it's like a sling. Because I've been wanting like a fanny pack.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely motherfucking hate having shit in my pockets.
I think the idea of just organizing shit, that's definitely one thing I've gotten better at this year. And I feel like I could always, get, like, I don't want to try and buy more shit, but I want to organize the stuff that I have.
No,
like,
absolutely.
Like, I think you sent me, like, there was for the Alex drawers, there's some dividers that you can get.
Yes.
So I want to get some of those just to try and organize and, my cables that I have, because I have like an Apple drawer, which is all my like connectors and the dongles that I have to have for my fucking computer.
Hashtag that dongle life.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I could organize this better. It's not, so far I haven't gotten to a point since I've cleared that out and organized it by like audio in one thing, the video stuff in one, data and stuff like that. It hasn't been too bad, but sometimes it'll shift around. I'm like, I don't even remember what I'm looking for anymore. Fuck.
Yeah. Organizing, having a thing, like I have a camera kit.
Mm-hmm.
I have a, minimalist iPad, like, I'm only doing video editing kit. I have these kits, and it actually does make me more productive. Another favorite purchase that I bought, and this is not $600 fucking dollars. It's made by Side by Side, and it's called, I think it's literally just called like the fucking Packer or something. But it's just an organizer. It's a fucking tech organizer, but it's stretchy, so you can really fucking shove it full of shit.
Yeah.
It's got places, it's got a big open cabinet. So like right now, I legitimately have my IK multimedia interface.
Okay. Yeah.
In there. I can, then plug it up. If I don't feel like taking my HX Stomp, I can still use like something on the iPad, like Bias Effects, like plug-in for guitar tones, right?
Yeah.
And then,
have you tried that? Is that any good? Like,
one of the favorite ones I found, but it doesn't really necessarily play well with like other stuff for like recording within the iPad system, which is Moore's one, the GE Labs. Moore makes.
Okay.
Like Moore actually has capture software in that app.
Yeah.
To capture pedals, to capture amps. Like speaking of Fluff did one.
Okay.
A video on it. But it's really cool. And you get everything completely unlocked for free. What you pay for is how many presets you want. So if you want unlimited presets, it's like a one-time fee of like $20.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a different approach than like IK Multimedia's like Amplitude, which is like, you got to pay for like the orange pack. You got to pay for the Jimi Hendrix pack or whatever bullshit.
I did look into the IK for no reason, but they had the orange pack. I'm like, how much is it? If it was like $20, I'm like, maybe I'll buy it. It's like $120.
No, it's like,
not worth it. No. Maybe it sounds great because somebody did a comparison of like for bass, an AD200, like real IRO mic'd, and then compared to like the software, and everybody's like, the software sounds so much better. I'm like, I guess, but it's also a completely different thing. Like a tube bass amp, like you're gonna be like the guy was like recording in an apartment. I'm like,
yeah, no, like if you can't crank it, like that's why. But no, so that's the other thing. Like I'm going real hard on iPad and have been this entire year with all my recording set up.
Yeah.
Since I'm really inspired by it, and I think I've mentioned it on this channel, but Henny the Business on YouTube. Okay, he's from like an R&B hip hop side, but like he's literally a Grammy nominated artist who literally spends the majority of his time producing in iOS. He edits his videos in iOS. Like all the stuff that I've taught you and talked to you about, like I've learned from guys like him who are strictly like he does all of his video editing through LumaFusion. He does, his recording all through iOS. And then like, of course he brings it to like a studio to then like, mix it. But what's cool about the iPad setup that I have is like Mixbox by IK Multimedia, which is the 500 rack thing that I showed you. It's fucking cool because like it's tactile. You can touch the knob and adjust the knob, and it looks like a 500 series like outboard gear. It's a lot of fun.
Being able to do it all with just even an iPad or a phone and stuff like that. That's pretty. It's pretty crazy now.
Well,
There's like
as a guitarist who put off getting things like the HX Hum because he wanted an amp because he wanted to be able to twist the knobs on the pedal and twist the knobs on the fucking amp. Like iPad OS, like it's not perfect, but like it does give you that feel of like, oh, you want outboard gear, but you can't afford it or you don't have space. Like it gives you the tactile feel, and I think it's really cool and inspiring.
It's close enough to recording, like if you're used to recording with a DAW and like say like
I use
computer,
Cubasis.
and computer and stuff like that, but you can do it with an iPad.
I use Cubasis. And the way the iPads, how powerful they are these days, like, I mean, I'm not saying you can do like a full fucking orchestra and blah, blah, blah with it, but like for us, like shit we do, fucking playing punk or fucking like bar chords and like drums, like you could do it. I've seen like people with iPad Pro setups go in with a Claret Pre that's USB-C, plug it fucking straight in the iPad and record a full drum set like that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's fucking dope. Like there's no limitations other than I find with iOS, there's always that extra step you have to do. There's always an extra step, which now is starting to piss me off because I told you, like I've been saying this whole time, trying to cut out the bullshit.
Yeah.
There's always a couple extra steps. So I still miss a computer. I'm still going to get one eventually. But this has been working out great. But as far as gear purchases, definitely I'm trying to look. I'm looking at my desk.
Just kind of getting the setup dialed in, right?
Yeah, just getting it dialed in. The Novation Circuit does all my synthy stuff. I love my Keychron keyboard. Like I love mechanical keyboards. They're fun. They feel good to type on. And organizational, I also had this like thing I got on Amazon Prime this year. It's like a iPad hard case that also has like organizing in it. Okay, it's really cool. I'm not going to go dig in my closet to go get it. But it's cool because I can bring that with me. Like if I just want to bring that and go to like a fucking coffee shop to work on my editing, my videos, it's perfect.
Yeah. I think for this year, I mean, probably more so last year, but just a lot of selling stuff. Actually, no, this year I sold a lot of shit too.
Yeah, you
Once
did.
Plane ended, I was like, I don't need all these amps. So I sold probably 3 of them and then sold drum set, sold a bunch of stuff, but buying stuff.
You sold your active cab too?
Yeah. Sold 80-30.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
So the 80-30, did you sell the 4x12 or the
412? No, I have that.
Still have that?
I don't think I'm gonna get anything for it, and I think it looks really cool. So I kind of want to keep it.
So vain.
Yeah.
So fucking vain of you.
I haven't plugged that thing up in forever. But I mean, buying gear, I don't think I've done a whole lot.
Legitimately, to be fair, actually, now that I think about it, I have gotten a couple more pedals, but I got them on trade and now they're gone again. Oh, another guitar I sold this year. I had 4 tellies. What the fuck am I talking about? The Cabernita. The baritone.
Oh yeah.
Totally forgot
Okay,
about that fucking thing. Shows you how much I played that. Fucking like I totally forgot I even fucking owned the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 4 tellies. I had my regular Cabernita, I had the Cabernita baritone, I had the thin line, and then I had the 60s double bound.
Damn. Yeah. And now you're just down to 1.
Now
That's
I'm just
crazy.
down to
I mean,
1.
yeah. That's, I don't know. You don't. I don't know.
I don't regret it at all.
It's actually It ends
Like
up
I
working
do
out.
want another guitar, and I'm not like just trying to do this like for the sake of minimalism, although that is something that again has played a huge factor in how I think about gear.
Oh yeah.
As we've talked about. And that's another thing that I again with TeleTalks, I just want to less and make more.
Yeah,
with
it's
more.
like just thinking that way this year, I kind of went more into it. I think if I did buy stuff, it was mainly like camera gear. And specifically, I really dig this lens that I bought, which most of the shots are still framed the same way because what I was using was the 16 to 50.
Yeah, and then you would just use 16, right?
Yeah. And then so for all my videos, it was my videos, it was 16, just as wide as I can in that room. And then even now, I'm like, yeah, it's it's a way bigger fucking lens. It looks so much better.
It's fucking huge.
I did buy
a huge piece of glass.
I did buy the 50, 1.8, I think it was. I don't use that as much. It's a cool lens too, but it didn't cost nearly as much as. So I bought 2 lenses, and that's such a boring for a guitar podcast. But I'm like, dude, I love the shit out of it. It has made my photos so much better, and just learning my camera settings and stuff like that too. I'm actually learning more about it. And I'm like, I see everybody has like the A7 S3. I'm like, that's such a cool. Like I'm like, see, like, oh,
cool. Yeah. I gotta be like them and get a full sensor.
No, yeah, it's like
a full sensor camera. I'm a little bitch with my APS-C or my APC size sensor.
Was it? Rabia has it. You see, Fluff, and then Eric Merrow has one, and then not that
it's a YouTube standard. Your boy Peter, Matty Hoopla or whatever, or Matty, what the fuck is his last name? Peter's friend.
Yeah, I think
another Canadian dude.
I thought it was Hoopla.
Hoopla? Is it Hoopla?
Yeah, he uses that. So
he uses it too. Yeah,
and those are way up there in price. And I'm like, maybe one day, maybe.
And then the fucking they got like G-Shock fucking, or what is it called? The
Master,
G Master lenses and shit.
That's another like $2,000.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm like, okay, not that point, but I'm like, I'm still like just knowing my settings and just like getting this lens, which it's like $400. So it's up there.
The
I love the shit out of it.
is a great camera.
Yeah. So that's
really
probably
good camera.
My favorite purchase of the year.
iPhone. I forgot. I got a new iPhone this year.
Yeah. So that's probably I'm just paring shit down, and I think just organizing. I really was stoked on like revamping my room, and I love the shit out of that. The desk was the same dimensions as what I had before. It just doesn't look stupid. Nothing wrong. Kyle let me he gave me like an old like hand-me-down one. He's like, oh, you can have it. And then I was like, I don't really like the look of it. And he's like, I gave that to you. No, you ungrateful. And I'm like,
fucking,
he was just
don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah, he's just teasing. Like, you want it back? He's like, no, I don't want that shit.
I'm more that's fucking kindling, dude.
An ugly ass thing. I don't know. We left it like on a corner of his like neighborhood, and it was gone within an hour.
It always is. Like with that kind of shit, you'd be shocked who will come by and fucking take it.
And I'm like, oh, I gotta.
It could be cut in half, and they'll still take it.
I said, I gotta throw this away, and Kyle's like, no, just leave it there. It'll be gone. And he's like texted me, like, it's gone already. I'm like, it's funny just leaving furniture out. But that's probably my desk, and then the camera lens there. I'm pretty happy, and I'm like I don't think there's a lot of stuff I want. I'm sure there always is, right?
No, there is. Like, I have stuff like I want to get a better audio solution for video. I'm still pondering what I want to do. I have a few options, whether it's the Rode Wireless Go 2 or the Zoom, the one that you have.
Yeah.
You should have brought it because I could have played with it. Damn it.
That little like field recorder.
The little field recorder that allows you to do it still has capsule, so you can still do shotgun, but it's also meant for like lapels.
Yeah,
so it has like
clip on mic. Yeah,
it's also meant for lav mics. So I'm exploring that.
lav mics. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
Clip on tie.
Because I tried to ball on a budget when I chose my camera, which is a Canon M200, which is just like pretty much like an M50, Canon M50, which is also a very popular mirrorless YouTuber budget camera.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have a mic input. And so like I have to have a separate audio solution, and the H6 is just too much for me now.
Yeah.
Like it's too fucking big. I don't need it. I'm literally just need to be able to record vocals.
Yeah.
Everything else I'll record, via the iPad,
Yeah.
So I'm looking for that, but guys, the fucking phone, like all my fucking Instagram game and like even B-roll has been on the phone. And I think because this is just the 12 Pro, because I got the 12 Pro before they reached the 13, because I was trying to get a good deal. But no, like just that, I'm like, fuck, man.
Yeah, and the cameras on those are pretty good.
They're good. They're good enough for anything that you do on here. Don't let anybody else tell you elsewise.
Yeah, it's Aaron Racine, the guy who he's got the van life guy. Yep. He does his YouTube channel and he only uses his phone. He's got like some Samsung deal. He's like, oh yeah, I only use the phone because like because I can't afford it, don't want to put money towards it, and having a separate camera. He's like, I don't need it. So he's only using that for his YouTube videos. He's getting some steam, which is cool. And then a YouTuber I watched, kind of getting up on like for studio equipment and plugins and stuff like that. He posted on YouTube that I'm like, he's like, I'm looking for, a lav mic solution because I only use my phone. I'm like, his videos are good. And he does like, I think it's like 10,000 subs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, he's only been using his phone. I'm like, you just don't notice sometimes.
So like that's actually legitimately one of the other options is like I think I might just get also like a lav mic for my phone, like do a deity or the one that fucking Rode makes, whatever the fuck, like the Rode Go 2 or whatever. It's a lav mic that goes into your fucking phone.
Mm-hmm. They have some that have USB-C connection, so you don't even need like I guess if you had like a Samsung or whatever, or whatever has USB-C, you just plug into that.
Exactly. So I could go into my iPad because my iPad's USB-C.
Mm-hmm. Is the camera on that any good?
Hell no.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
The iPad Pro or the iPad Air, right?
Yeah, the iPad Air. The back camera's not bad. Like the back camera, I believe, is literally the standard non-ultra wide on like the 12. Mm-hmm. But I'm not filming with the back of that fucking camera. The front camera is absolute shit. Like the front camera is like it's no different than like other stuff. So like it's just not good.
It's not that good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't use the camera on that, but it's great for editing videos and everything else.
Yeah. But I don't know, we're up at an hour here.
Wow. Just talked a lot of bullshit.
Yeah. It was kind of a loosey goosey episode. Sometimes not videos, but the podcast we have with guests are, we're just kind of just talking, just catching up.
That's what happens when you do it with friends and not somebody important.
Yeah.
like there's no agenda. It's like, let's just shoot the shit, drink some beer.
Just chilling, hanging out.
Speaking of which, I want to give a shout out because I got to give a shout out every time because I love this company. This is Pure Project. This is their Only Yesterday, and it's an English style pub ale. It's a glorified PBR, to be quite honest with you. But Pure Project is my absolute favorite brewery in San Diego.
Yeah, no, this is really good. You gave me some options of what to try. You had one that was like a triple IPA, and I'm like, no, dude, I gotta try.
So here's the thing, and I stocked up on it because they do limited releases every week. Mm-hmm. Like you can't get this beer anymore until they release it next time.
Okay,
I've just had it on me.
Yeah.
Same thing goes with Electric Dragon. It's a triple murky IPA with like fruity notes to it.
Yeah,
it's like 10%. I bought like 3 packs, so I spent like $75 on 3 packs. And they're only 4 packs, tall boys.
Yeah.
But no, I like them because here's where the ultra hippy dippy shit comes in because I'm from California, but they're climate neutral. all their brewing is climate neutral. They even accounted for all of their employees drive in to work.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how carbon neutral they are. Plastic neutral. Also, like they constantly are giving to like, plant trees and shit.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. Also, they just make a really fucking good beer.
It's also just good. Yeah.
It's just a fucking good beer. Like it wouldn't, none of it would matter if it wasn't a good beer. It's a fucking great, like,
if it tasted like shit, you're like,
beer.
Every time you drink, you're like, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
No, like I've never had a beer where I'm like, I hate it.
Yeah.
Like I've loved every single one of their beers that I've ever tried.
All right, that's good.
And I've tried pretty much all of them at this point.
All right. Where can people find you, RJ?
All right. You can find me on YouTube at TeleTalks. Go check out the episode where Brian comes on and goes over his mini pedal board. We also have some stuff. This might be news to your boys, but definitely want to do some stuff with just in case.
Yeah.
Because like their setup is as simple as it gets. And if you guys know anything about me, that's what I'm all about.
Yeah, we're going to work that out. We just
spent this entire episode talking about cutting all the bullshit, get to the music. Mm-hmm. So find me on TeleTalks. That's on Instagram, all that stuff. And that's it. But, shout out to all my friends at Just Surprise Me, the podcast, Masters of the Cinematic Universe, who also found out our boy, Mr. Andrew Walsh, is now one of the new co-hosts for Just Surprise Me. He officially said yes.
Oh, there we go.
So check him out because he does the Second Button with Brian, the Seinfeld recap podcast. And he's now going to be a host of Just Surprise Me.
There you go. Yeah.
So check all those guys out.
A busy boy.
Yes, because he also started another one with his brother, right?
Yeah, he's got a lot.
Fucking 3 podcasts. Crazy, dude.
A podcast universe or whatever that he's doing.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
He's bridging networks, man. He's probably the Jerks network with Second Button. He's Just Surprise Me network. And now he's starting his own. Good for him.
There you go. All right. I just want to say thanks for tuning into the Tone Jerks podcast.
For those who are just listening.
Yeah. You can follow along on social media. We have a Facebook group. Search the Tone Jerks. You'll find it. It's also linked in the description of this video of the podcast. We're on Instagram at the Tone Jerks, also linked. Posting cool shit on the reg over there. If you like what you hear, you can help support the show on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. But if you double down for $2 a month, you get an extra episode every week. I'm trying to pull up the
list. Just keep talking shit.
I'm just gonna.
I know I'm on it.
I'll do an edit, but it'll just be a hard cut. We're like wearing different clothes.
I'm not even on it. It's just Kyle. He came back from Texas and he's just fucking. How about that crazy Spider-Man?
I'm ready to spoil it now.
I'm about to. Fucking, it's gonna be all his fault because he can't get his shit together.
I don't edit it out.
I hope you don't, because this is good banter. This is what we doing. Also, I went from the leather case to this silicone case because I can't fucking I leave my phone places. Mm-hmm. I'm really fucking bad about leaving. So it's a bright fucking orange case. Can't fucking miss it. Another good purchase. Anyways, guys. So yeah. Also, not to, steal thunder from Kyle with his synth stuff, but I think that was a big part of why I made the changes I made this year. That's how I broke out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Start playing more like synthwave stuff. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. You ready? You good?
I'm ready now.
All right, I'm gonna shut the fuck up now.
There'll be a cut.
Not cut this.
I'm gonna cut it.
Brian, future Brian, when you're editing this, you at least better release it as an extra cut, or don't cut the YouTube version. You can cut the cast. Don't cut the YouTube version. Come on. So then that way you can be like, yo guys, if you want to see this, the full uncut version of the podcast, go on the YouTube, subscribe. I need to get my numbers up.
I don't know how much you were clipping, how long you're, but I got you. I'll leave some of that in. I got the little.
I got a little too excited.
You got some bars in the beginning too that you were rapping. So we'll put that on the YouTube. On the YouTube.
Beastie Boys known to let the beat.
So I feel bad because I've buddies at the Fret Talk podcast. They have theirs memorized. Or at least they lead you to believe that they do. And Kyle and I just read off the list. And I'm like, don't have my list. I'm like, oh shit. I don't even have it
Well,
saved
here's my
anywhere.
thing. Here's my thing. Do they do a video?
They do not. So
Well, there you go. You don't know. If you can't see it, you don't know if there's a list there.
Budget Pedal Chap is lying at his age. All right. Shout out to those guys. But definitely shout out to our Patreon supporters. You can help support the show for as little as $1 a month, but if you double down for $2 a month, you get an extra episode every week, and you get an RSS feed to all the old past episodes and all the new ones coming. You get to put that into your favorite podcatcher. You get over 200 bonus episodes over there. And we just want to give these people a huge shout out, sizable acknowledgement. We got Matthew Davis. We got Nicholas Payson. We got Michael McVeigh. You know, you should do the
My man.
Yeah. For everyone. Just your girlfriend's like, what the fuck? Matthew Fenslaw. We have Tyler Rhines from Tyler Casey Riffs. Or no, Tyler's. Yeah, I believe it's Tyler Casey. Fuck, I fucked that up. But Tyler Rhines.
Damn.
I'm doing a bad job. Kyle does a good job.
God damn. Where's Kyle at when you need him? Let's call this son of a bitch right now.
Get him on the phone. Get him on the horn. We got Jonathan Jeverzik from 12th Hour Devices. We got Tim Noack from Bardic Audio Devices. We got Scott Hamilton.
You didn't let me do my job for him. He's also just surprised me.
Get the Tim Noack from Bardic Audio Devices.
Oh, yeah.
We got old Scott Hamilton over there from the Effects Loop podcast. We got our boy, the YouTube superstar over there, Eric Merrow from Elm Effects.
I miss you, Eric. We haven't talked in a while.
Yeah.
Hit me up.
I got Zach Hale. We got, here we go, Mike Oxbig. And then we have Hugh G. Rection. And we have Izzy Inyet. Izzy Inyet, as how Kyle would say. We got Juan Ortiz from Tone Hungry Effects. We got Steve Rao from 60 Cycle Hum. We got
Shut up, Wesley.
Sean Wright from Lollygagger Effects. We got this is his real name. Mel Chipson. I gotta make sure to Nicholas Ogburn. We got Brian Nutter from Nutter Guitars. We have Alvaro Viramontes. We have Sean Fahey. We have Kevin Equitz from Equitz Guitars. He makes guitars that you can put a dent in. Really, he's like just by leaning it on the counter. Apparently, I think those guitars work really well in guitar stands, not just like falling on the floor. So that's my recommendation. If you ever play Equitz, put in a guitar stand when you're not playing it. We got Steve Mike.
Don't put fucking duct tape on it, for fuck's sake.
That's my bit. It's Steve Mike from Hardly Human. We got Sean Arbo from Gun Street Wiring Shop. We got the Young King, Mr. Doug King over there. We got Andrew Walsh from his Second Button podcast, from the Just Surprise Me podcast.
Yep. What's his new one?
I don't know. Well,
anyways,
I'd have
get
to
fucked.
Get fucked. Got Doug Christ from 37 Effects.
Pussy.
Just,
fuck my ass, daddy.
You and Joe did the same thing. And from Just Surprise Me and Masters of the Cinematic Universe, we got Mr. Jason Fuzzmonger.
She got a great ass.
Jamie Davis.
Boo, you suck.
Will Lehue from Just Surprise Me podcast.
He doesn't have a job because he doesn't support his own fucking podcast.
He used to do like an Eeyore drop. Hey guys. Yeah, and Abe Newman. We got Joseph from Like My Pedals, Just Surprise Me podcast, and Masters of the Cinematic Universe.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
We have Howie Felter Snatch, formerly known as Johnny Ray. The first time you heard that one.
Oh.
That got you good, huh?
That got me, man. That man is straight up after my heart and soul.
You got to get him on the show, man.
Ooh, I guess so.
And then we got
damn.
In the flesh here, we got RJ from TeleTalks. Shout out. And then we have a Co Schneider from the Flippin' Flippers podcast. That's it. All right. Thank you. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks, RJ. Bye-bye.